Ireland has one of the best education systems in the world. According to the IMD World Talent Ranking 2020, the Irish education system ranks 7th in the world. In our previous episode, we talked about Ireland's schools, fees, and budgeting. But what about the real experience studying in Ireland from a perspective of an Irish graduate? Today we have Gallen Leung, who pursued his study in Ireland and graduated from Trinity College, to share with us his personal experience studying in Ireland. Welcome, Gallen.
Thank you for having me, Jeffrey.
When it comes to studying abroad, it is common to see that people would choose countries like Canada, the United States, and UK. So Gallen, why did you choose Ireland?
So back in the days, I was going to do the Hong Kong DSE, but I didn't really like it, the whole system. So it's like I knew I'm going to go abroad before the whole exams begin. But then my parents kind of like suggest me to go to Ireland. Major reason is that there's lack of Asians there, so I can kind of like get involved in the culture and kind of like know more people, like the local people there. And the other reason is that Ireland have the 3rd best education system in whole Europe, so I kind of like I knew that's my place.
So is it difficult to apply for an Irish university?
It really depends, to be honest. Like, you know, like if you're applying for like average university in Ireland, that's not that difficult. But if you're applying for like top college like Trinity, UCD, then you need like good grades and you need an overall of like 6.5 in IELTS to get into those college. For example, like modules like medicine, you know, like accounting, they're very popular in Ireland. And then one of the tips, if you want from me, is that if you have to do your research before applying any universities, their ranking always not reflecting the modules ranking, to be honest. So, for example, in Trinity, their ranking may be very good, but then some of the modules may not be the best for yourself. So you have to do your research very well.
So I assume it's not easy studying alone in a country that you've never been to. Especially at the beginning, what are the biggest challenges you've encountered in your school life?
One of the most difficult challenge I had was that I have to live alone. That was like my first time to live alone abroad, you know, especially without my parents helping, and then in a brand new environment as well. Language-wise was fine, to be honest, because like the Irish English is not that difficult to understand, but then the cultural difference was a big factor. You know, I had to really take some time to get used to the lifestyle. Unlike Hong Kong, you know, people in Ireland, they don't have much to do after sunset, so mostly they just go to a pub or a club, you know, but then that's the only thing you can do besides these two is like just to go to the gym, you know. It's not challenging to me to make new friends at all, but then most Irish people, they are very nice and friendly. You can easily like make friends after 1 pint of Guinness.
That's really interesting.
Yeah.
So do you have any tips for students who are planning to study in Ireland?
Yeah, the main thing is like don't be shy, you know, like me, you know, just say whatever you want, you know, and just don't be afraid to speak at all, like don't be afraid to make friends. Irish people are happy to correct your English even though when you say something wrong, you know. Also maybe try to take a part-time job, you know, during your study. That was like what I did to overcome these challenges. You know, I work in a department store where I have to like serve many locals during that time, and it kind of like learn the accents, you know, from them as well. So it actually improved a lot of my English and speaking.
Thank you, Gallen, for your tips. So aside from education, another most frequently asked question from our clients is about the country itself. What is it like living in Ireland, and what makes this country such a good place to live in?
The country is very inclusive, you know. Irish people are very friendly to any foreigners, you know, and in general very casual and very nice. The country has a slower kind of like living pace, you know, not like compared to Hong Kong. So actually, you even have a better quality life as well. And also, the agriculture is very well developed, and the quality of food is actually very high, but with like a very cheap price. Ireland is the only English-speaking country in EU, you know, after the Brexit. So it's actually a very, very good place to live in now.
So I believe you got your master's degree in Ireland and is now working for an Irish company, right? Why did you decide to stay in Ireland, and is it easy to find a decent job?
The reason why I decided to study my master in Ireland is that I really enjoy my time over there, you know, during my undergraduate study, and I want to further my education. It's just like a very good country, you know. And as I have been living there for like nearly 9 years now, I can see myself like kind of like more like an Irish, you know, more than like Hong Kongese, you know. So I want to stay over there for like rest of my life, you know. And also I really love to work-life balance idea over there, you know. They kind of like, you know, people after half-5, they're just like, okay, let's say go to the pub, you know. They're just like, okay, let's just leave the work alone, you know. So it's like actually it's like I feel like I can find myself over there, you know, rather than like working in Hong Kong.
Of course.
And the economic growth is very strong in Ireland. You know, the job market is very strong, you know, especially sector like IT, finance, and pharmaceuticals. After the Brexit, many big companies' headquarters are moving to Ireland now, and, you know, which means more opportunity for us to work for the big, well-known firms, you know. So many big infrastructures are under planning now, so Ireland can just get better and better in the future.
Right. So this brings me to my last question for today. If you could choose again, would you study in Hong Kong or Ireland?
100% still prefer in Ireland, to be honest, like, no doubt. I think it's really opened my horizon about the world, you know. I would not get where I am at the moment, you know, if I haven't been to study Ireland. And it's really easy to travel around Europe, you know, from Ireland with very cheap flights, you know. I'm a big football fan, so I literally can, like, 200 Hong Kong dollar just go over to England to watch a game, you know, so which is like, my summer is like a European tour.
As a father of two, I know exactly why a high-quality learning environment and a good education system are the cornerstones to a child's success. And Ireland is definitely one of the best countries that you should consider for living and education. So once again, thank you, Gallen, for all the information you've shared with us today.
Thank you, it's my pleasure.